What is going on? Let's dive into what you need to do if you're struggling with push-ups today. Push-ups are hard, man. I have an Army PT test. I have a Marine Corps, a Navy, a Coast Guard. I have some sort of PT test for military law enforcement, or I have some sort of minimum work requirement that I have to do for my job, or there's just any reason in the world that you want to do more push-ups, but you're having some trouble. Here is what I would recommend. All in all, right, most of the time, two things happen with our push-ups. Well, we've got two things here that that definitely happen, right? And one is, what is our strength, and what is our endurance? Okay. And so first and foremost, your strength is going to be, the ability to push from the ground, right? From a front leaning rest position down to a full push-up where your chest touches the ground, back all the way up. That's going to be our strength. And then our endurance is, how long can we keep that up, right? In the unbroken sets that we're doing. Most people struggle with one of these or perhaps both. Usually in the beginning, obviously, it's the strength, right? They have a hard time, feet regular, putting themselves in a position where they can do these with solid form. And because of this, right, and then ultimately endurance as well, what we have is, our hips sag, and we start to do these things that we call Velcro push-ups. And that's horrible for your low back. And it's a very shitty form. It won't count on any fitness test. It won't count for law enforcement, first responders. It won't count for the EMT or the firefighter. It won't count for military. When your butt sags and you're doing these worm push-ups, right? They look like brand newbie CrossFit burpees is what they really look like. And so we want to stay away from that. So how do we do that? Well, all in all, right, strength. This is going to This is going to help with the strength. I would say if you do nothing, right, you start here, negatives. What does that mean? That's the front leaning rest position, whether we're on our feet or we're on our knees, and we're lowering ourselves down, then we are not pushing up. So we are coming up and slow and controlling ourselves, lowering all the way down, keeping a flat back position, and doing that for strength. And maybe that's, hey, we're going to do 10 reps like that, and then we're going to take 90 seconds, and we're going to do 10 reps like that, and then we're going to take 90 seconds. We're going to pick a number that we're going to hit just like regular strength training, and we're going to rock and roll doing negatives. Okay, that would be the strength portion. That would be how I would increase that. That's going to work for any calisthenics really there at all, to include pull-ups, but push-ups in general. Negatives are for what we're doing strength. If you are like, James, I'm not in the gym, I'm not using weights, I'm just doing body weight, boom, negatives. The slower you go, the more under control you can go on the way down, the easier it's going to be to build strength, right? And then also doing some isometric work. So as you're, technically isotonic moving, right? So you're here, hold, 1, 2, 3, a little bit lower, 1, 2, 3, a little bit lower, 1, 2, 3, doing some holds. So once you get to a place where you can do maybe 10 to 15 to 20 negatives with like a 1, 2, 3, 4, like a 4-second down, maybe you do some pause reps, okay? And it's pausing at different positions there. Another thing to do is to switch up your grip. So, or your hand placement really. So your hands are usually going to be, down here on the ground, right? Maybe rock one ahead, right? In front of the other. Maybe turn them out, maybe turn them in, maybe go close, maybe go wide, maybe go super out, right? One by your chest and one up here. Hitting the chest from different angles there on the push-ups is also going to make just your regular standard everyday push-up much, much easier. Okay, so that's for strength, right? We're looking at negatives to improve strength just like we would on the pull-up bar. And then EMOM work, this is going to be endurance, okay? So this is going to be endurance. EMOM work, this is every minute on the minute. You can set it to every 90 seconds on the 90 seconds or every 2 minutes on the minute. It's just a format of doing things. You'll set a timer for whatever interval that is, and you'll have X amount of reps to doing that, and you'll rest the remainder, and then you'll get back to it when the buzzer goes off again. You'll set like a Tabata timer essentially with no rest periods. You'll just set it like if it's, if we've got an EMOM, right, for 10 minutes, right? That's every minute. So then you'll set a timer for 1 minute, okay, for X number reps, And so you'll set, maybe I want to do 4, right? Okay, I can only do 10 in a row, so I'm going to do 2 every minute on the minute, and do that for more than where I'm going to hit 10 reps, so more than 5 minutes. So maybe you're going to do that for 10 minutes, so you get 20 reps, but you have enough rest in between that you can bang out 2 every single time. This is going to be where we're going to get some more endurance. So what that would look like is, if it's a 10-minute EMOM, you'll set a 1-minute timer with 10 rounds, right? And then set a number of reps. It should not be what your max is. So when you do EMOM work, right, it should be less than probably 70% of your max unbroken set. So that's something to keep in mind. We've got negatives for strength, we've got EMOM work for endurance, and then we've got scale of range of motion for somebody that's brand new. And this, both the scale of ROM and the knees kind of go onto the same place. This is going to be something that you're going to utilize for either strength or endurance, okay? For either, but I would recommend that you go full range of motion, if at all possible. That is where I would go first. And if that means you have to go full range of motion on your knees, right, to lower there, or it means that you have to, bring your chest a little bit above your feet, which means that you put your hands maybe on a bench, or you put them on the wall. Or if you're brand new, you could literally go just as easy as this, right, and go here. Like, whatever you need to do to scale the range of motion, that's going to be fine. Scaling the range of motion by either bringing your feet closer to the wall and you're standing up, and then slowly start to walk it away, and then lower the place at where your hands are. That's amazing, right? If that's where we're at. But if we're past that, let's go to knees and then do negatives from the knees. And then once we're there, then we'll do negatives from on our feet, right? Completely laid out. And then we'll do full push-ups, and we'll do the positive as well as the negative, right? Because we're looking at rolling these. You can also always roll in this strength into EMOM work or into different sets, so you get strength and endurance. It's really just going to depend on how much work you're trying to do and how comfortable you are at programming this stuff. I can absolutely help if you hit my line. I'm happy to do that. You have another thing here, right? Band supported, and this could be, hey, the band is up under basically your sternum, right? It's attached to a barbell or attached to a rig if you're inside of a rig, or this could be something that is the J-hooks in the rig, it's there, and your chest is on top of it. This is going to be like an extra scale if you can't do anything on the wall or on a bench with your hands, right? That's what it's going to look like for the band supported. That's a really big scale and something that I would start at, but I would not continue to do as you go on, unless you're trying to just get some endurance work and work full range of motion and have some support there. It's kind of like, it's something that's a tool that you can utilize to better yourself, but it's also, it can be a crutch if you use it for too long. And then outside of that, we're also looking at, frequency, right? How often are you doing these? I would probably say that you want to do, if you're really shit at pull-ups or shit at push-ups, I would probably do these, 2 to 3 times a week. And so pick a certain amount of volume that you're comfortable doing, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and just knock it out, right? Should take you, even if you do this on top of a regular workout, should take you like 10, 15 minutes max, so that's 45 minutes a week, to do way more push-ups and have the ability to do more things on bench and in other workouts. That would be very solid there too. The next thing here is going to be just, the last thing that I kind of want to touch on before I let you go is just minimum work requirement. Anything that I struggle with a ton, right? I like to set a daily min requirement. So what I like to do is say, hey, I'm shit at pull-ups, or I'm shit at handstand push-ups, or I'm shit at regular push-ups, or I'm not really good at hitting my steps. I'm just going to hit a minimum daily requirement. It's going to be something that I arbitrarily set, and I start knocking down for 28 days at a time. So I maybe say, hey, month 1, I'm going to hit 50 push-ups a day, or I'm going to hit this, instead of daily, I'm going to hit it 3 times a week, right? I'm going to maybe hit 100 3 times a week, 3 days out of the week, or I'm going to scale it back to I'm going to do 25 push-ups every day no matter what, in whatever format you want to do that. That, increasing the frequency at which you do them, right? The frequency, so daily, weekly, twice a day, etc., right? That's going to help you a ton. And then also, the easiest way that I've found to kind of implement that is to just have a minimum work requirement for how you're going to be doing these. So that I would say that the daily or the 3 times a week is probably the easiest way to go. But if you have a higher frequency, maybe it's, I got a buddy that I went to high school with that's now doing some fun shit with the feds, and he used to be shit at pull-ups. And so every time he walked through his bedroom door, he would do pull-ups. He would do 5 to 8 pull-ups until he could do 10 pull-ups every time he walked in his door. Now the dude is 200 pounds, 5'9", and can probably do 35 strict pull-ups in a row, no problem. But it's because of the frequency that he did it every single day. When he walked into his room, he started with just 1 pull-up. So every time he crossed the threshold, his pull-up bar was in the doorway, he did a pull-up. And he did that until he could do 2 like that every time he walked in. And then he did that until he could do 3. And so it's just about progressively building here. But push-ups, similar to pull-ups, they're proportional to your body weight. They get easier as you get lighter, right? 100% as you get lighter. You start to burn fat, they're going to become easier, but it doesn't mean that you should slow down, because if you can do 20 pull-ups right now at 200 pounds, if you gain 30 pounds, right? Guilty as charged. I am 234 right now, and I can probably, on a great day, like bang out 8 to 10 strict. I can do kipping all day, but 8 to 10 strict today. But when I was 195 pounds, I got a little cocky. I could do maybe 15, closer to 20, and I stopped doing them because I was like, oh, I got them. I don't need to do them anymore. But then I gained weight. Gained weight from exercise, gained weight from not paying attention to nutrition as much, gained weight from lifting heavier in the gym, getting away from calisthenics. But it is something to keep in mind that, like, anything that's body weight is proportionate to the amount that you weigh right now, not the amount that you weighed in 6th grade or 8th grade or 9th grade, or the amount you're going to weigh when you're 50, 60, 70. It's proportionate to how much you weigh right now. So keep that in mind, because the minute that you get cocky on body weight exercises is the minute they go out the window, right? You can do it. You absolutely can progress push-ups or anything else, but negatives for strength, EMOM work for endurance, scaling range of motion and coming down on your knees if necessary, because you can't do them on your feet. Okay, I hear you. You scale range of motion by bringing your chest up away from the ground and having your feet a little bit closer to your chest, right? Not knees bent, still legs straight, but you know what I mean. Knees is also a way to do that, right? The band supported, that's going to be an initial thing, or hey, we're a little bit exhausted, we want to get some more endurance work, let's do that. And then coming down to frequency and potentially implementing a minimum work requirement every single day or 3 times a week, and you should be able to rock from there. You should be able to, in 30 days, take yourself from doing 2 to 3 push-ups strict to doing 10 to 20 strict in 28 days of doing this. 100%. Now pull-ups, a lot slower, but push-ups, you should easily be able to do that. And then it kind of compounds from there. Once you can do 20 in a row, then your sets, instead of doing EMOM like 2 reps, you're doing EMOMs at like 8 reps, right? And then next thing you know, you're doing 10 minutes of 8 reps on the minute, and that's 80 push-ups in literally 10 minutes. And then you get more used to the endurance work, and here we go, your body starts reacting. So you don't need to have crazy stuff in the gym to be able to improve on this stuff. And in fact, the thing that's going to make you better at push-ups is doing more variations of push-ups. Same with pull-ups, right? You can do all the back, dumbbell, kettlebell, barbell work in the world. You can do that all day, and it is important to break down the components and do those individually so that you can improve on your weaknesses. But you're going to get better at doing push-ups by doing more push-ups. I hope that helps, and I hope you have a great day.